I would like for you to say your name and your employment status or your career status at the moment.
My name is Jessie Farman. I'm currently employed at Slippery Rock University under their residence life as a desk attendant for Building A. And then I'm also interning at Aware Incorporated, which is a domestic and sexual violence advocacy center.
Renee Shantz. I am a account executive manager of commercial lines.
Andrew Gatewood, Tetra Technologies.
According to the Pew Research Center, 40% of millennials have at least one tattoo, and usually more than one. Tattoos are no longer taboo. In fact, the number of tattoo artists increased in the United States from 500 in 1960 to more than 10,000 in 1995. Getting ink, aka tattoos, once was the province of sailors, soldiers, and penitentiary inmates. According to a study from the Pew Research Center, almost 4 of 10 people between the ages of 18 and 40 proudly sport one or more tattoos, a 400% increase from prior generations. 1 in 20 people have multiple body piercings, excluding earlobes, from their head to more intimate parts of their bodies.
Can you tell me about how many tattoos and or piercings that you have?
7 piercings and 4 tattoos.
I have 5 tattoos, and I have 7 piercings.
I have 1 tattoo. That's it.
In a caretaker.com survey, 31% of the employers responded that they would be less likely to promote an employee with a visible tattoo, and 37% they would be less likely to promote an employee with a piercing. In that particular study, these 2 categories represent the highest percentage reasons not to promote an employee. How long, though, can these attitudes persist when the workforce is increasingly filled with millennials?
Can you tell me your experiences with some of the policies concerning tattoos, piercings, and or hairstyles in your past jobs and in your current ones?
So for my current ones, again, as a desk attendant, they don't have any policies regarding tattoos, piercings, and or hairstyles as long as you look presentable, meaning you look well kept. For the Office for Community Engaged Learning, which I kind of retired from last semester, they also didn't have any policies. Again, as long as you looked well kept and groomed and everything like that. For my internship, I have to cover my tattoos, but it's not really. I don't know what to say. Like they aren't very demanding of it. So if your tattoo kind of shows, it's not that big of a deal. With regards to my piercings, they just don't want metal piercings, being that I'm going to go into the courthouse and have to go through metal detectors and just a hassle. So I'm allowed to wear my gauges, but as long as they're not metal, I'm fine. Most part because I'm going to the courthouse, I have to look as business attire as possible. So if you look at lawyers or anything like that, they're not allowed to show off any piercings or identifiable markers of themselves, and that's kind of along the lines of why we kind of have to cover up. Like I said, it's not as strongly like upheld as like lawyers and them. But as an advocate, you are sitting in the court, so you have to look presentable.
So currently, there is minimal restriction. We can't have like bright pink hair or green hair or anything like that. But if we want to style our hair a certain way, we are welcome to that. So basically, mine's just curly, so I don't do much with mine. But if you wanted to have like a shaved underlayer or anything like that, there's no issues as long as it's not like bright, vibrant colors. As long as it has a way to be professional. So, because I work with the public day to day, everybody in the office does. So we are kind of catering not only to the younger generation, but we're to the current and the older generation. So we're trying to keep peace among all generations, so we can still be looked at as respectable advisors. As long as you don't have a sleeve or an extremely large tattoo or profanity exposed, it's fine.
My current job doesn't have any, as long as it's not offensive. And my next job is the same way, as long as it's not offensive or super out there, it doesn't bother them.
Some, but not all, employers have tattoo policies, which usually do not completely forbid tattoos, but require that visible tattoos are covered at work. According to Human Resources, it may be illegal to discriminate from lack of promotions just because of tattoos or piercings. Although, interviewing larger chain companies such as Urban Outfitters or H&M, I have found that they cater more to a younger generation. They allow their employees to dress, show, or present however they want, as long as they don't wear tank tops or tube tops or too short of pants. Against this, companies such as Wells Fargo or even local banking companies cater to these policies because they present to all generations. Legally, in California, tattoos are generally considered a protected speech subject to the First Amendment. Yet, it is still for the most part lawful for employers, including public employers, to have reasonable policies regulating tattoos in the workplace. In 2012, a candidate for a liquor enforcement officer with the Pennsylvania State Police was rejected for a position due to a visible tattoo. The PSP's policy was that visible tattoos were reviewed by a committee, which determined whether a candidate's tattoo had to be removed or covered. In this case, Scavone versus Pennsylvania State Police, the PSP informed the candidate one of his tattoos had to be removed to qualify for the position. The candidate refused and was not hired. He then filed a lawsuit in federal court alleging claims for violation of due process and equal protection. The more intimate question is, can we trust these people if we hire them? Public opinion polls consistently show that the general public has a negative image of people with multiple visible tattoos or extreme body piercings. According to a study by CareerBuilder, 60% of employers will not hire candidates with tattoos or body piercings. The same study indicated that tattoos were the third most common reason used by employers not to promote an employee, just behind bad breath. The reason being, especially in big corporations, they want people who stand between their boundaries, their lines of judgment. And with tattoos, piercings, and even different hairstyles and hair colors, this screams that the employer is different away from the big corporation. Although some corporations break down these policies if one has a religiously necessary tattoo, piercing, and/or hairstyle. So, do you cater to the older generation, or do you reside to the newer generation? Let's break the barrier.